This week's Northwoods Adventure, Shane Lee digs up some dirt on Minnesota history. Find out what he discovers at Archaeology Day in Mille's Kathio State Park.
Time to grab your fedora and whip and head to Archaeology Day. Okay, so Indiana Jones may not have visited Mille's Kathio State Park Saturday, but there were plenty of other archaeologists present.
I'm trying to introduce them to what flint knapping is and the processes or the procedure in doing it.
Flint knapping involves the percussion stage and the pressure flicking stage. The goal is to make a projectile point, which could be a spear or an arrowhead.
Majority of flint knapping is really hand-eye coordination. Building the edge, building your platforms correctly and striking the stone exactly correct, exactly right.
Arrowheads are great, but useless without the bow. Luckily, just next door is the bow maker. Start by splitting the wood. Next, shape the wood with a draw knife. Then comes the tillering.
The most difficult part is getting that final shape, because the shape determines the strength of the bow, the durability of the bow, and getting the final bend in the limbs is called tillering the limbs, and that's where you make sure they're bending evenly throughout the limbs.
People attending Archaeology Day not only learned how to make bows, but also how to use them. Not only were there artifacts and demonstrations, but there's also archaeological excavating happening on the scene. Archaeological geophysicist David Maki explains what he found.
If we look just to the north of where they're excavating, this darker material here appears to be caused by this charcoal lens or layer of charcoal from the collapsed house, or from the house that burned and collapsed on itself.
Maki sends electromagnetic pulses into the ground and listens to reflections caused by materials different from the surrounding soil. In this case, the material is charcoal from a house that burned down around the year 1700.
We roughly get the boundaries of what it is they're excavating and provide some context to understand what they're looking at.
What they're looking at is likely the south end of a house that could unveil a great deal about how its inhabitants lived more than 300 years ago. Shane Lee, Lakeland News.
The excavators have uncovered 1 cubic meter every year. Excavation could take decades to complete.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.